Hello, 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 and welcome back to another episode of The Unprofessional Entrepreneur. This week I have a very special episode for you because I know you all love a case study episode. And I have been flattered and honored that the case study episode obsession you seem to have with my show translated into the actual case studies with clients, because that just makes me feel good. But we're going to talk about my journey to creating my private podcast, Turn 1 into 10. And this is something that, I knew I wanted to create a podcast episode on because I found it so fucking difficult. And I'm literally going to take you through the timeline of how long it took me to make this into a thing that is out there, because it took me 4 months from idea to launching. And I have a lot of thoughts on that. So the idea came to me in November 2023. I think it was around that time that I started solidifying the CPA framework. I had it in my head. I knew the order that we followed: content, platforms, intentions, and angles. But it was through doing the remix again and again that it kind of became something that I could articulate and start sharing with other people. So somewhere around October, November 2023, I was like, this is what I need to do for a lead magnet, because this is what's going to actually bring in ideal people for my agency. Because how often do I see people creating lead magnets that aren't going to attract their ideal clients? They're going to attract other people like you. And so the only lead magnets I had last 4 years was, I had one that was alternative ways to market your business. It was a bunch of different ways you could market your business that weren't just basic social media. And then I had repurpose for email, which was supposed to be like my agency content repurposing focused lead magnet, but I didn't love it. Both of them were PDF documents. Both of them were kind of thrown together for some kind of collaboration or summit situation that I'd gotten myself into, and neither of them had ever converted into sales. So I just didn't love them. But I also had a lot of beliefs about myself and my ability to convert from a lead magnet into a sale. I had a lot of thoughts. I had a lot of limiting beliefs. I had a lot of negative beliefs, let's say. I just didn't believe that anything I created would actually convert. But I knew I wanted to put in the effort, and the whole goal with this lead magnet, with Turn 1 into 10, is that I would like to eventually run ads to it, because I think the remix is genius. I would love to get the remix out there, and I think that running ads to a lead magnet works better than running to directly the offer. So the whole purpose in my mind was to create this lead magnet and refine it until I could get to the point that I could run ads to it. But as you can hear right now, I was putting a whole lot of pressure on myself before it was even created. I was concerned if I did a YouTube unlisted videos instead of hello audio, people wouldn't listen. It would look unprofessional. Hello, I am unprofessional. Who gives a fuck? But also, with a lot of the things that come with repurposing, visually seeing things has always helped my clients. Like, whenever I make graphics on Instagram, it's one of the most liked, most shared, most commented on posts. Same when I do presentations, it's the graphics that people are like, oh, now I get it. So I knew that I didn't want to do just a private podcast. Actually, stop. I'm getting ahead of myself. The original plan was to make a PDF. When I came up with the idea in October, November 2023, the plan was to make a PDF. I had mapped it all out. I knew what it was going to look like. I knew the different steps I was going to have in the PDF. And I even went through Canva and picked a PDF, a few different actual PDF templates that I was going to blend into one so that I could make the document that I wanted it to be, because I wanted it to be pretty robust. And all through November, make the lead magnet was on my to-do list. All through December, make the lead magnet was on my to-do list. And then the 2 weeks Christmas vacation closed, no one working, right? That period of time, I was going to make the lead magnet. That was the only task on my to-do list. And you know what I did? I didn't do it. And then January came and I had this epiphany, and I was like, what the fuck am I trying to force this PDF lead magnet when I know I literally had a strategy session with Debbie Does because I want to create a private podcast because I love podcasting, because I feel like I express myself and I can explain myself way better speaking than trying to make visuals. Visuals are not my thing. Why am I trying to force myself to make a Canva PDF visual document when that is my weakest area of creation? So January starts and I'm like, we're going to make a private podcast. I'm going to restart the creation process. I'm going to remap out based off of my original map out what the 5 days of the show, of the episodes will be, how I will convey, what I will sell out of it. And then I have the idea like it has to be video. I asked my audience, will you think I'm janky if I do a YouTube unlisted lead magnet instead of a Hello Audio fancy lead magnet? Everyone said, no, you do you, because you guys love me for being unprofessional and I love you for loving me. So mid-January, it was all mapped out and it sat on my to-do list for 2 weeks. And that's when, if you were following me on Threads, if you scroll back all the way through my threads, you'll see that I came to the realization I was putting way too much pressure on myself for it to be perfect, for it to be ready for ads right away, when I knew that I needed to experiment with it, that it was going to take time to refine, that I wanted to record the videos and get feedback, write the emails and get feedback, see where people were dropping off, see which ones get the most views, see which ones people actually comment on or message me about. And so I set myself a deadline, as you do. I set myself a deadline. I said, this lead magnet is going to be live Valentine's Day. My gift to you, I will have this in your inboxes Valentine's Day. And so I started teasing it. I recorded the videos. I did not write the emails. I set it up on, what's that platform? I set it up on YouTube. I set up my landing page. I was actually in a summit where I had put this down as my lead magnet for the summit. So I sent the link off and it wasn't actually set up to go anywhere after you signed up, right? And so I had to set up all the email sequences. And I kid you not, I wrote the emails after February 14th. I think I had email 1 and email 2, like the you received it and the like follow-up email for like 12 hours later or something. I think those were set up on February 14th when it went live, when people started downloading it. But the rest of it, I definitely wrote those emails like the whole week after February 14th as people were in the email sequence. As they were like going through it, I was still writing the emails. And so I want to share some numbers with you, and then I'm going to share my thoughts on how it's performing, on how it's looking, on how it's doing, because it's been 3 months since I launched it. I launched it February 14th. I'm recording this May 23rd or 24th. I don't even know what date it is. 23rd? Yeah. So it's been 5 days, over 3 months. And yeah, I want to share my results. So to drive traffic to this lead magnet, I have done a lot of collaboration opportunities. It's also included in my like link tree. It's on my website. I mention it on the podcast all the time. It's now in my agency 9 grid on Instagram. You should check that out. And where else is it? I think that's it. But as far as collaborations go, I was in that summit that I was in at the same time it launched. I have done 2 email list swaps. I have done 2 podcast guesting opportunities where I've mentioned it. And I did 1 guest coaching in a community where I also mentioned it. Out of the last 3 months, I have had 233 page visits to my ConvertKit landing page. I have had 94 people subscribe, which is a 40.3% conversion rate. I am very fucking happy with that conversion rate. That is really, really good. In the beginning, it was like a 75% conversion rate. But like, honestly, I'm still happy. In the first month, it was a 75% conversion rate, which was really cool. I think just because all the traffic I was driving to it was quite warm. It was mine. But so it has gone down a bit over the last 2 extra months, but 40% conversion rate is really good considering my landing pages are basic as fuck. It's literally like, learn how to DIY your content repurposing, sign up here. Like, that's my landing page. I don't do like long, this is who I am. It's not a full sales page. It's a landing page. It's a put in your email landing page. I've also had one known conversion from this lead magnet of someone buying the remix from my emails. That is a huge win because in the last 4 years, like I mentioned, I've had multiple different lead magnets and I have never had someone buy from going through a lead magnet. In my defense, in their defense, my lead magnets were never very targeted. I definitely started, my first lead magnet was like how to network in Facebook groups or something when I was a VA. Like it did not bring me ideal clients. It brought people who wanted to sign clients like me. The alternative ways to market, like it was decent, but it wasn't set up to sell repurpose for emails. It was the same thing. It was a good idea, but it wasn't set up well to sell done for you off of it. And so, yeah, like this is the first lead magnet that I've like intentionally set up from start to finish of like, I want this to make sales for me. On that note, the improvements that I now want to make is I want to review and rewrite the email sequence. As I mentioned, the email sequence was written kind of a l'arrache, that I was writing it as people were signing up for the lead magnet. So I was kind of like, oh shit, it's been a day, like they're going to get taken out of the sequence because I have no emails coming out now. And I just didn't do the level of care or the level of thought that I'm capable of to those emails. I was also really divided on only selling the remix out of the lead magnet versus like being like, oh, I have the remix and I have done for you. So I want to rewrite it to only sell the remix and like not mention done for you, but just not put the emphasis. I think right now I have like a whole email about done for you. I have a whole email about the remix. I want to only talk about the remix and like maybe have a PS line of like, learn more about our services and send to the service pages where you can see done for you or something like that. And then once I redo that email sequence, which is going top of my list for goals for June, I will be aiming to do another big round of collaborations. So more email list swaps, more podcast guesting is most likely my route of action. And I've been invited to a few summits, but they're for like October, which is when I want to be offline. So I'm not sure about those. But yeah, that's where I'm at for my lead magnet so far. I'm hoping that I do an end of year recap and I can like just brag to all of you that I've had like crazy amounts of sales or whatever. I do still have the idea in my head that I would like to run ads to my lead magnet in Q4. Right now, the thought is Q4 to run it for maybe Black Friday. The only fear I have is that like the remix, I would need to find a way to limit or extend remix deliveries, because right now the remix, it's 7-day delivery, and my team member is trained in it. So like me and my team member, we could probably do 1-2 a week, so like 3 or 4 a week each. But you know, like if ever it did happen that I had a Black Friday sale and it blew up and I got 20 orders, like I'd be fucked. There's no way I could do 20 remixes in a week. So I need to look into Thrivecart on like if there's a way of like, okay, after this amount of sales, like your delivery gets pushed or whatever, you know. But we'll see. That's still a future thing. That's not right now task. Right now task is reviewing the emails themselves and improving them to see how I can increase my sales. because the numbers that I shared with you, the page views, subscribers, conversion rates, that's from the landing page. So like, yeah, I could improve the landing page, but I'm good with it right now. Focuses on the conversions from the emails for me. But that's where I'm going to love you and leave you. I hope you found this helpful. I hope if you are someone who has a lead magnet, wants to have a lead magnet, I gave you some good food for thought. And I will see you all next week or whenever I see you on another episode of The Unprofessional Entrepreneur. And as always, don't forget to stay unprofessional. Oh, and of course, in the show notes, you can sign up for the lead magnet that I've spent this whole episode talking about. Bye.